Hey guys, what's up? I'm Caitlin from Leave Me Alone Plants, and today we're going to be talking about all the things you need to know about taking care of your ogre ear. Now, little disclaimer in the beginning of this video, my ogre ear, I promise I'm not a bad plant mom. My ogre ear is pretty wrinkly and droopy. I went out of town for a while, and let's just say I might have forgotten to water him for probably going on a month or so. So disregard that fact. I guess this is a great video if your plant is looking wrinkly. Now you know it's wrong. It is in need of water, but don't worry, these guys do bounce back super easily. So with that disclaimer out of the way, let's get into the rest of the video. So if you are a fan of the movie Shrek, then you can probably very easily see where the inspiration for the name of this plant comes from, Ogre Ear, because it literally looks exactly like the ears on Shrek's head. Now there are actually two varieties of ogre ears. There's the Hobbit variety, and then there is the Gollum variety. I believe that this one's the Gollum variety. I tend to have a really hard time picking them apart actually. I believe the Hobbit variety is a little less of like a trumpet shape and kind of just like a little more straight up. So either way, the care for them is going to be about essentially, pretty much exactly the same. But if you have an ogre ear and your friend has an ogre ear and they both look a little different, you're not wrong. They are different plants, just of the same family of plants. Now, like I said, for watering requirements, a great sign to know if your plant is in need of water is if it starts to look like a wrinkly old man or a little raisin like this guy is right now. But like I said, really it's nothing to stress about. These guys are drought tolerant, so if it starts to look like this, just give them a good little drink of water and they'll suck that right up and they will pop right back to normal. Now, in terms of sun, when I first started getting into plants, I wasn't into succulents for a long time, and I think part of the problem was when I heard succulent, my instant thought was, oh, just put it in the sunniest spot as possible. Now, I guess you could probably get away with that in most parts of the country, but here in Arizona, with our sun being so strong, while you do want to give this really bright light and a lot of sun, you don't want to give it direct sun, because these guys can still get sunburned. So you'll kind of start to notice that instead of being this nice like green and red blend, it'll kind of just turn like almost like brown or red altogether. Now on the flip side of that, if your plant is not getting enough light, you'll kind of see it lose that red tip on the top, and it might just be completely green or even kind of look like a little dull and faded, which is a great rule of thumb for all your plants. If you notice that your plant seems to be losing color, it just looks dull and it's not as bright and vibrant as it used to, try giving it more sun. That very likely could be the problem. It's just not getting enough energy to produce all those beautiful colors that we love to see in our houseplants. Now, interestingly enough, even though these guys are succulents and they can tolerate that a lot of sun, and you typically might think of them as being like a warmer weather plant, these guys to a degree are actually frost tolerant. So back when I lived in Buffalo, New York, we're, in ice cold conditions, far beyond what I would consider just like a little frost for months on end. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend it for somewhere like that, but, maybe if you live in like one of the Virginias or DC or, just somewhere where you get a little frost, but it's not anything crazy, then you might be able to get away with leaving this guy outside and he'll be totally okay. I can already feel it in the comment section. At least one person from DC is going to be like, actually, it gets really cold there. So I'm sorry if you live in DC. I get it. I'm sure it gets really cold there. Now, in terms of how big these guys can get, they can stay as small as like 1 foot tall, which is, about where this guy's at. And I'm sure he'll get a lot bigger than he already is, because these guys can actually grow up to like 5 feet tall. And that's, pretty common if you see jade plants in general, which I don't think I've said yet, but this is part of the jade plant family. But if you see like those traditional jade plants that people grow, they do get pretty big. So this guy is no exception. He can get big like that too. And let me try and turn this at an angle that you'll be able to see. You can see he kind of has like this tree stalk right here, and this guy, it'll just grow straight up and it'll kind of branch out and literally just look like a little ogre tree. So stay out of my swamp, and yeah. Now, if you love this guy so much, you want your Shrek to have a little Fiona and little ogre babies running around, then there's a couple ways that you can propagate this guy. So you can either just snip off one of these leaves completely, that's of course going to be the longer way to do it, and just wait for that leaf to root up. Of course, let it callus up first so that you're not letting bacteria or anything crazy get in there, but that's one way you can do it. You can also do a stem cutting where you just cut right here, and same thing, let it develop a callus and then just root it from there in water or soil or however you like to propagate your dang plants. Or another option that you can do, which is really great, a lot of times you'll see these sold for kind of like ground coverage for people's landscaping. They'll be sold in these like big pots that are super shallow, and what you can actually do is like you could go in with a friend or a couple friends and get one of those little trays of them and then kind of just like divide them up from there. They tend to be a lot of separate plants, so you can get them by division too, and then of course that's the easiest way to get more plants. Like I always say, I'm not a great propagator, so I like division. Alright you guys, well that is all I have today about taking care of your Ogre Ear Jade plants. If you had questions that you were hoping were going to be discussed in this video that I didn't talk about, of course drop a comment down below and I will be happy to answer your questions to the best of my plant knowledge ability. And if you liked this video and thought that it was helpful, don't forget to give this video a like, and if you would love to see more videos like this in the future for different plants and just other fun plant related videos, then of course subscribe to this channel. We're still pretty new here, so we would love to have your support along the way. Thanks so much for checking this one out, and we hope to see you in the next one.